So I was looking over Mollin's stuff. M-O-L-L-I-N, Mollin. He's supposed to be the guy that was teaching it in the colleges. I'm telling you, they made an effort to plagiarize my grandfather's work. Here's what comes to mind. There was this exercise we did, little example, when I was, I think, in junior high school. And a bunch of students in class basically lined up, 25 of us, I think it was. And there was somebody at the beginning of the line, and there was somebody at the end of the line. And what the practice was to whisper, say a small little sentence inside of your, neighbor's ear. And then that neighbor, number one would whisper to number two a comment. And then number two would whisper to number three the same comment. Anyway, on and on and on down through the list. And by the time you get to number 25, or the end of the, student body in the class, the comment had completely changed from the original statement, basically, is what, comes to mind. Because this guy here, Mollin, says that he learned it from L. John Fay in the motion palpation. Grandpa told me, he said, these chiropractors think they're an expert in my work because they shook the hand of a hand that shook his, is what he said. That's how he put it. And none of them were properly trained. I, on the other hand, spent years with Grandpa in order to get it right. Yep. And I tested myself when I first conceptualized how to do it. In fact, I remember the day. I ended up going from Fort Worth, Texas to Granbury, Texas, because Grandpa explained it to me the day before as far as how it is you determine what it is you need to do. So I just basically, chewed on that all day, come to a conclusion, an epiphany, and, realization. And I wanted to make sure, because I was at a critical moment. I drove 50 miles just to go ask Grandpa, did I see this right? Did I understand it? Because I didn't fully understand what he was telling me the night before. And then after ruminating on it all day long, I had my epiphany, and I drove out to check on it. And he said, yeah, you got it. I got it. And so I learned it. And the chiropractors, when they were fighting me over it, they're saying, oh, you can't just learn it by osmosis. Well, that's what they've done. They've tried to learn it by osmosis. I, on the other hand, spent the time. Anyway, I found something interesting. Here's Mollin, and I'm going to have you, this is YouTube, C0, C1, seated assessment and manipulation. The date on this, April 27th, 2021, right there, April 27th, 2021. You can look at that. And he's talking about pulling to the chest. I'm not going to go into detail on it, but he's talking about actually pulling it to the chest, not a lift. They call it lifts, but, manipulations. And then this one here, I'm going to also, it is April 27th, 2021. I will play this just a little bit. And he's talking about essentially the same thing.
With the thumb behind the occiput and the fingers spread out.
But it's not the same thing at all.
The doctor is in close. There's a little bit
this
of
is
a
what he
lift
does in the
with
video
hands.
I just showed you.
If you look at the forearms, you'll see them almost
I
parallel.
want you to go look at it yourself, though.
Hold your head there for me for a moment as I release. You can see that there's relaxation. The doctor is going to get very relaxed before delivering this. The thrust is towards the doctor, not in a rotary manner, but towards the doctor.
So it goes one way.
The other variation of this
Calls it a variation.
Instead of, it's the same adjustment really, but instead of using the auxiliary hand to lift and thrust, we're going to use the doctor's upper chest to do that. So the setup looks exactly the same, so you'll see the setup from the other side now. Here's the contact. The ear goes in the web for the upper cervical area. If we were doing this lower cervical, we can move the hand down a little bit if it was for mid or lower cervical. But we're on the occiput, and the thenar is resting on the mandible.
It goes into a lot of detail as far as how to go about it. It's a bunch of junk, garbage actually, just stuff to make it sound important.
And you want to spread the force out between the contact on the occiput and the contact on the mandible, because they're connected, and that way there's no excessive force in the mandible.
He does not know what he's
So what we're
doing.
going to do here is...
Because he goes the other way.
And I reinforce the hand, and it's a little bit of a thrust in and a lift up. But again, doctors relax prior to the delivery and just lift
And
up.
it's pathetic the way he does it.
All right. Thank you very much.
And he's squatted down.
That's it.
If you watch Tubio and all the way these idiots do it, that's where they're getting it from. And they're saying, oh, Tubio needs to go teach it. He can't. This guy here has already done it. And he's wrong. And now, this one here, which was the original, and I basically exposed this. It's on a previous video. But the date here is June 7th, 2021. So it's after. And in this one here, he changes it. He's not even consistent. And everybody's giving him accolades and calling him the GOAT, and it's fucking bullshit. He's gone against his own word. But let's just go ahead and see.
You're not
here.
like doing that.
Not
But
going
you
in.
are. I'm going to go ahead and perform this.
Let me go this
You
back
are-
just a little bit. He says it's not going in. Where before he said, yeah,
that.
pulling it toward the
But you
doctor.
are-
Now
I'm
he's
gonna go ahead
changed
and
it.
perform this. You are lifting with your legs like that. And that's how that adjustment is done best.
Let me show it one more time.
Legs like that. Like doing that. But you are, I'm going to go ahead and perform from your legs. You do connect the patient to you.
There we go.
You connect the patient to you with your hands, but you're not really thrusting into your chest.
You're
You're
not going
like
into the
doing
chest.
that.
You just
But
did it.
You are, I'm going to go ahead and perform this.
In
You
April.
Are lifting with your legs. Like
Again,
that.
pathetic. And now,
That's
fourth generation from the legs.
how that adjustment
He's
is done
squatted
best.
down
All right. Fourth
in the
generation
previous fourth
from the legs.
Fourth
Thanks very
generation from the
much.
legs. Oh my God. And I was broadcasting. Yeah. They're wanting to watch me from afar, learning it from by osmosis, thinking that they can, be experts on it because they saw me do it or saw Grandpa do it because I've broadcast it. They have a license. They're, above the law. Government's crooked and they're taking their money. Oh my God. It just disgusts me. And like I said, the gossip chain is basically what it is. What you hear in the beginning is not what you see in the end. And Tubio's going toward the chest, which was the April demonstration. June, they changed it. And I showed in a previous video what the real McCoy looks like. And he does not have it. So, Mollin, I'm going to tell you now. You and I both know that you're wrong. Yep. If the people were watching me, y'all wouldn't be ignoring me, I can tell you that. But yeah, chiropractor needs to be shut down because y'all aren't. There is no morality and nothing decent in anything you're doing. Quite frankly, you disgust me.